This is what I'm going for in this little sewing diary. This is the pattern I used. I scaled it up already. And I hope this is going to come out alright. Already made a mock-up. If you're like me, you can't throw any fabric away, so this is a way for me to get rid of fabric that I'm not going to use anymore. And this is way too big. I will have to make this smaller. And I'm a little bit further in the process. I made sure that the patterns of the pieces are aligning so that it looks symmetrical, and then I attached them to 2 layers of very sturdy linen, and I just basted it together very loosely and cut them out. And next thing I'm going to do is sewing the channels for the boning. Almost finished with this part. The top is still open because there's no plastic inside yet. This one is close to being finished. I just sewed one time around so that everything is nice and closed up, except for where the plastic goes in. And I'm already a bit further ahead here. I just cut it off, except like 2 millimeters. And I'm going to do this all the way around, and I used a blanket stitch here because this fabric just falls apart. If this was just linen, this would be okay because it's so tightly woven, but it isn't, so don't want this to rip open or anything. I think I'm skipping a couple of steps here. I don't actually remember what the last thing was that I filmed. I think abutting the seams or something. Yeah, so I used to think that abutting the seams didn't work, and then I tried it out and it's a really cool thing. So what I would do ever since the last pair of stays I made, I think it was the Regency short stays from the book by Cassidy Rokoko, if that's the right way to pronounce it. By the way, follow her on Twitter, she's quite funny. I recommend that. Also, the book is awesome. So what I did then was just finish all the individual panels, and then I abutted them afterwards, and once you put the boning in, those pieces shrink. So it's really tough to say from the pattern to the pair of stays, as they're fully boned, how big they're going to be in the end. So I made something really stupid. I finished the triangular bit in the front panel first, and I made it smaller. I think I shaved off like 1 centimeter at each side and all the way around. And then I did the same with the side bits here. And then I was afraid, because I tried it on, and I put all the other pieces which were unboned and unstructured on. And then I tried to close it in the back, and of course it didn't work because it's really thick fabric, and I used pins to pin it to the other pieces, and that got really bulky, so that probably took away a couple of inches. And then I was like, shit, this is getting too small. So I did the side panels next, and those are the original measurements. I didn't shave off anything at the side, and then I tried that front bit on, and then I was like, crap, now it's getting too big. So that's really stupid. I tried to like start in the front and go to the back and then adjust it as I see it, and that's not the best way either. So still a lot to learn. I think that's something that just comes with experience, and I haven't done too many of those things, especially when they're fully boned. Those pieces shrink so much when you put in the boning. You lose like 2 centimeters or something. So yeah, you never know what size they're going to turn out if you don't do this regularly, which you probably don't, because those take so long. I skip so many steps because I want to get done, because I know this is the thing that's probably going to take the longest, aside from the actual dresses that I'm going to make. So let's go to the back side. So then what I did, not to be recommended either, is I made the back bits and the side back bits way too small in comparison to the front bits. But now you can see the blue lines here that I stitched. This is going to be cut off later, and the lacing is going to be here. So I will have like, I don't know, maybe 5 to 6 centimeters that I can leave open in the back. I don't know yet. What really pisses me off about the stays is that I cannot tell in advance how well they're going to sit on my body. I mean, I did a mock-up and I tried it on with just the fabric and no boning, and now I'm putting the boning in and everything's changing constantly. So I will see if I will even be able to wear this. It might come out too big, it might come out too small. I have no idea. So what I'm going to do now is, you see these, by the way, I'm running out of boning, otherwise I would be done with that too. So this already has some boning, but not all, because I still have to put the eyelets in. I'm going to use metal eyelets because I want to be able to pull on this, and this is polyester anyway, so it doesn't have to be historically accurate, just practical. And I'm going to put some boning in the side of this, and then I'm going to abut these two pieces, and then I will check how this all works, if it works, and then I will abut those two pieces to this side, and then I can check in the back how long I'm going to make this bit. Because if it turns out way too small, I still have some seam allowance here, and I can adjust it slightly. So keep your fingers crossed for me. This might turn out very, very wrong. And I'm not going to do this twice. So if this fails, then it fails. Whatever, I don't have any time to mourn for my failed fashion projects. And let's abut those other seams, shall we? I kind of stopped in the middle of everything. I was just abutting all the seams. I attached this one, and then I thought maybe this doesn't fit. I might have to open this up and make this part that flares out a bit smaller, but I'm not there yet. I will first have to put in the eyelets and another piece of boning here, and I ran out of boning, so I got myself some new cable ties, and they got even more expensive. It's like 15 bucks for 100 cable ties, so yeah, still cheaper than fake whalebone, but not too happy about that. And then I got this, I bought some binding before, but the color wasn't so great. Now I have this sort of mustard, really dark mustard colored, just normal ribbon, not silk ribbon. We don't have silk ribbons over here for some reason. It's polyester, and I used it to bind the edges here. And what I did, what makes it easier, was attach it like this with the needles on this side, and then another piece with the needles on that side, and then I sewed down here the big stitches, and from the front stitches are way smaller. Can you see that? And the mustard color is pretty much exactly the same color as these threads here. So that's going to look nice. I'm going to do the ones in the front, then I'm going to finish abutting the seams here. I got really frustrated with this because this got kind of warped, so it doesn't really fit. So I just threw it in the corner and went and bought 12 meters of mustard colored ribbon, and then I started this. That's seriously sometimes why I don't film things, because I know I'm going to just go all wild and do things in the wrong order, and then it's not educational at all. So yeah, I'm going to finish this, then I'm going to abut the rest of the thing here. Then I'm going to put in the eyelets and see if it fits, because if it doesn't, I will have to open up this bit and make it smaller, because my hips don't flare out so much. And yeah, I'll let you know how well that goes. So I ran into some trouble. As you can see, I opened bits of this up again. This is the back panel right next to the place where the lacing is going to be. And these used to be abutted, and then I opened them up again. If you look at this, this is sticking out way too much. And I tried it on. Originally I thought I would just put the eyelets in and then lace it tight, and then I would see if it works, but I tried it on without lacing it, and already it looked really wrong, because this is sticking out so much, and this is where the waistline is, and then it goes out like this. And I don't have a butt like that, I'm not Kim Kardashian, so I'm opening up these bits. These can stay. These I am unstitching and then restitching by hand, because I can't fit this thing with all the boning in the sewing machine. It just gets pulled around and it looks really bad. So I don't know if you can see it. I have to line it very straight. So the angle here is sticking out very much, and I'm restitching it, and this used to be the side here, and you can see the further down I go, the more you can see the difference. So I will, and this I think, I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with this. I'm going to unstitch this and put it in way lower, maybe, or I'll just leave this bit open unboned so I gain more flexibility. I'm not quite sure yet what I'm going to do with this. So I'm going to open up these bits and restitch them, and that's the plan for today, and it takes forever. Very annoying. I've already spent way more time on this than I wanted to. So we're making progress, but not as quickly as I would hope. This has been taking way too long already. I already put in the eyelets, and this time I was smart. I actually finally bought myself one of these. I don't know why I put that off for so long, but these are so practical. You can exchange this here with the smaller one, so you can punch in many different types of eyelets. And it's so much easier than just hammering it in, because if you hammer it in, there's a chance that the entire thing kind of shifts around, and then the eyelet is crooked, and then you can't really get it out, and I hate that. And this distributes the pressure very evenly, so that's very nice. Oh, this way around. So I recommend these. I think that was like 15 bucks or something. And after I did that, now I put in the boning around the eyelets. I put that off till the last bone, because when you try to put the eyelets in and there's already boning here, again, it can kind of disturb the line and make everything kind of crooked. So I did this last. And once the entire boning is in, I can try it on, and I'm quite sure, not 100%, but quite sure, that I will have to take these back panels here, these that I had so much trouble with, and put new ones in, because I changed the angle of these, and I had to take out one of the bits of boning, because otherwise the angle would be wrong, and I couldn't edit on the other side, because then the angle here would be wrong. So now, this is already kind of small, but these are even smaller, and the entire thing might turn out too small for me to wear. I mean, I said I would make it somewhat tight in case I lose some weight, but not that tight. So if it turns out to be way too tight, I will just cut this open again. And I still have a little bit of fabric left over, and I can make these again, and I will add one piece of boning here and one here, like the long pieces, so that it adds to the size of the thing. But first I will have to just kind of, I think I'll slip stitch this so that the boning stays inside. So that's it. So I ran into a bit of a problem, which I already talked about. I kind of predicted it. So this panel here is way too small, and I tried this thing on, and the too smallness isn't even all that much of a problem, but this bit here, it doesn't go up far enough for my liking. And the larger problem is actually these here. These two are too small. Actually, I think for my body type it would even be better if these were just 2 pieces instead of 3, because my bum doesn't go out that way. And yeah, I'm not quite sure what to do about that. Kind of torn between trying to make this authentic and just saying fuck it. So I could just split it here and it would be 2. And the other thing is this is attached way too low, so the entire thing is too low and too small. And this really pinches where my kidneys are. So this is not what that's supposed to be. So this needs to be further up, so that it's kind of where my natural waistline is currently. And this entire bit, like this included, should all be like an inch higher. And so it's also kind of uncomfortable, so I think I'm going to redo these and attach them a bit higher and see if that's more comfortable, which I hope it will be very much, because otherwise I wasted a whole lot of time. Ta-da! Here's the finished pair of stays. I think they turned out way more pretty than I thought they would, considering that this was just me recycling some scrap fabric. And it also gives a nice shape. I'm considering putting on some straps, you know, where they have the added straps here and they go in the back, and then they do like a crossover through some loops that are attached in the back, and then you can pull them forward and attach them somewhere here. I think I might need hooks or something for that. I'm not quite sure yet. Currently it works without the shoulder straps, so I'm sticking with that for now, because shoulder straps always kind of show whenever I put on my Anglaise gown, and that's kind of annoying. I'm quite happy with how the back part that I had to redo turned out. That was a pain. It took me almost 3 weeks extra, I think. But it was completely worth it. Also, the pattern matches up way better now than it did before. So that's a plus. Also, I'm kind of proud of myself for finally including some spiral lacing, which I told myself I should do at some point. By the way I abutted the seams, as you saw earlier, that's completely wrong. I forgot to say that. That's not how it works at all. If you want to check that out, I'm going to put a link in the description of a blog called Rockin' the Rokoko, and she did the same pair of stairs but completely historically accurate, like putting reeds in and everything. So check that out. It's a fun little blog. It's a fun name. All the good names are already taken. Seriously, every time I read a good name regarding to costuming, I'm like, damn it! That's such a great idea, why didn't I think of that? So, check her out, it's quite good if you want to do it completely historically accurate, which I pretty much threw out the window as soon as I decided that this was going to be completely polyester and some linen, and then the eyelets are wrong, and the abutted seams are wrong, and everything's wrong, so... but it looks nice. So that's it. I hope you had fun.